Hi, I'm Carrie Toth. I am the owner of Somewhere to Share, and I am the author of the WAYUS curriculum. WAYUS is a curriculum for level 3 and 4 students. It could be a pre-AP type of thing. The AP exam is very tricky because it is its own animal. It is meant to be some kind of hoops that students jump through. So I feel like for a true AP student, you're going to have to supplement with some AP specific resources because you're in a way teaching to the test a little bit. But I feel like the units that we do, we've aligned them with AP themes, with the sustainable development goals, the content that we're providing is very strong at building skill in students to be able to talk about the topics that they may need to on AP. It's just making sure that as an AP teacher, you know that you have to teach them exactly what AP is looking for. I want to take you on a little tour inside of the curriculum. And in advance, I will apologize because Dylan, who helps me with document management, hates the way that I do this. To me, I'd like to see everything that I have in here, and Dylan would rather me make folders, but so far I have not given in. This is my whole Google Drive. I'm so sorry. If you buy on Teachers Pay Teachers or Somewhere to Share, you can buy individual WAYS units. And what you would have then is access to one little unit folder. Inside that folder, you're going to find a mini folder of student sheets. If you have a Google Classroom, LMS, Learning Management system at your school, you will be able to just directly assign any of the fillable papers in the curriculum through Google Sheets. I have Skyward Schoology. Skyward's our student management, Schoology's our learning management. Schoology and Google Sheets do not get along very well. So I rarely assign a Google Sheet. I prefer to go to this unit plan, extract a page from the PDF, and then deliver a PDF to my students because on their iPads, then they can use PDF Expert. On Chromebooks, they can use Kami and they can write directly onto the document. When you open your folder, it may look overwhelming to see all of the things, but these are actually the documents that are linked in this very first thing, the unit plan. If you go here, this is your hub for everything else. We do have our curriculum maps in every unit folder. We have a link to our collaborative drive where you can see what other teachers may have already made to go along with the unit that you're studying. Dylan manages all the Google files, so he keeps an update log every time he makes changes. This master update log is an important place to go to look for, do I need to realign my files? You get an access sheet, so you want to keep track of where you store those access sheets so that you can always come back to this main folder and pick up any changes or additions that we've made to the units. So inside your little unit plan, you're just going to open up and you're going to see kind of some credits and a welcome that tells you these are based on a 45-minute face-to-face experience. If you're using WAYUS and you're in a 90-minute or an 80-minute or 100-minute block, you're going to have to make a few alterations to how the days go in your curriculum. We also included sub/remote plans because we wrote them during COVID, but since COVID, things have changed in my classroom. My district rarely does a snow day now. We do e-learning days. And so having those same little things that I was giving during the COVID shutdown are a great way to keep learning moving forward when we're doing an e-learning day. And then I don't have to stop and think up some busy work to do. We can keep our learning on track. It tells what the unit will explore. As you move down, you come to the grammar bubble, and we have such a great announcement. This is July 18th of 2026 when I'm recording this video. And this summer, we wrote an addition to the WAYUS curriculum. It is called WAYUS Your Way. This is going to be a separate purchase. If, for me, this little grammar bubble is enough, I'm going to reinforce the present. I always want to keep in mind what proficiency tells us. It says that at advanced low on the ACTFL proficiency descriptors, students can comfortably use present, past, and future. They may make errors, but they know when a prompt is calling them to talk about what they will do versus what they did versus what they're doing right now. So in Illinois, our teacher candidates get advanced low, but generally only after a study abroad. And so thinking that our students have mastered present tense just because we taught it in level one is not realistic. So we want to keep in mind that every year we need to come back. In level one, we need to introduce the past tense. It could be a weekend chat where you're just talking about what you did, but to get them comfortable hearing forms of verbs. I can remember literally a time when a kid asked me in Spanish one, how do I say I went to my grandma's house? And I was like, we're doing present tense, and next year you'll learn that. We need to keep doing this because I was so focused on what the textbook told me was the important thing. So don't forget, we need to be wrapping those around through all 4 years. So these are just our little pointers for where you can work in the three tenses, the big tenses. And then we always offer an idea for how to work in some grammatical structures that are maybe a little more advanced. In this unit, this is going in the way, yes, your way. We've decided to focus on past tense as kind of a review. This is our first unit of the year, and so we want to just make sure students remember that they already know some past tense things. So if you add Way Yes Your Way to your Way Yes package, then you end up being able to do either more in-depth grammar in context still, but a more of a notice and note type of thing with the grammar, and some extra vocabulary activities and some homework. It adds another 3 days to each unit to add this lesson plan, but also it really goes in depth in the vocab and grammar and context. We have an index. It's all clickable. This is about the fourth iteration of what WayS has looked like, and it's my favorite because this is so clickable. We can go to the overview, and the overview shows you your days at a glance, so it's easy to copy into a plan book. Day one, day two, day three, down to day seven. Each of these days is going to have instructions written out. So if you're just looking, what am I supposed to do tomorrow? The overview is where you want to go. If you want to see day by day, you can either click the one at the side or here. And anytime in the lesson plans of the document, you can jump around from page to page. We do have a bonus. We created listening assessments where students will listen to a biography about someone in a Latin American or Spain country, and they will be related to the topic that you're studying. So it's a way to expose them to native speaker. It is a way to get them doing kind of listening comprehension, and it's a bio highlighting. We tried to really branch out. A lot of times it's easier to throw in something about Spain or Mexico because they're easy to find resources, and we wanted to really dig deep. So we looked to try and find countries that are less represented in materials, and also people of ethnic groups that are less represented when possible. So know that we did try to do that as well as we added those. We have remote and sub plans as well. And then we have a printable section. So let's say you've already used the overview, you've made your lesson plans, but now it's today and you want to get the Sudoku, the Pare Sudoku, you just go to your printables and then you can slide down a couple pages to your Sudoku where you're actually using classroom, like the different things that they're going to see in the video to practice some family vocab that they already know, but just to remind them, do you remember this is aunt? Do you remember this is grandpa? Because we've assigned roles to each of the people. The day-by-day lesson plans are very detailed. So when you come to the beginning of the day, you'll have your warm-up slides, all of that stuff in the folder that looked like a lot of documents. You don't have to worry about it because when you come to the unit plan first, you have access to be able to just click and it will open that slideshow for you. So you don't have to go looking for it again. We have a little scavenger hunt game where you can click to go to the images. You can click to the scavenger hunt activity. We also have a Duolingo podcast included. Duolingo on their podcasts are incredible for intermediate learners. So we linked you to the transcript on Duolingo's site, but they have stopped supporting the audio on their own Duolingo podcast site. So here's your worksheet, but we also gave the option of listening to the podcast on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. The transcript is important to me because even as intermediates, sometimes our students are not able to listen without any visual support. So when I do the podcast activities, I will play the audio a couple of times while they're looking at their worksheet. And then the last time I'll bring up the transcript and just kind of follow along with my cursor. So if they've missed something, they can catch it in the last time through. So all of the plans are laid out. I will caution you, um, sometimes Google Preview, and I don't know exactly what causes it because it happens a lot to us. Google Preview will make it seem like your links aren't clicking. And I don't know if it's a memory on specific computers or if it's a way that schools manage their technology. If you find that things are not clicking on the slides, just click this download button and download the file and see if that helps them be clickable. That does not mean we don't make mistakes. We would encourage you to email info@somewhere2share.com or Carrie or Dylan at somewhere2share.com. If you find something that you feel is not clicking, we are happy to check it out. And sometimes links do die. There are joys and pains of the internet, and dying links is one of the banes of our existence, trying to chase down new resources when our links die. So if you buy on Somewhere to Share on Teachers Pay Teachers as individual units, then you're going to have this. If you buy the whole Way Yes package, one or two, you're actually going to have a folder that looks like, sorry, I have to scroll through all these things. Dylan is right. This is a mess. This is our Way Us collaborative drive, where teachers put in we have little folders for everything in here too. And teachers can put in whatever materials to the loading zone, and then Dylan will sort them out. There's a general Way Yes tab where you can go in and find out like what are the assessments in each, what are some ideas for final exams, etc. Oh, now I'm gonna have to scroll all the way back down there. I'm sorry. So Way Yes 1 and 2, if you bought the full curriculum with an access sheet for the full curriculum, then you're gonna see more like this, and it's gonna be all 15 of your units. It will have Dylan's little master update log, but just remember, no matter which unit you click on, your first thing to do is look at the first document in there, the unit plan, and that's how you'll know what to do next. I will also put in a couple of plugs. Way Yes Your Way is coming this fall. I would encourage you, if you've been looking for ways to reinforce vocabulary and grammar, the Way Yes Your Way will be a great purchase. And if you would like some little side lessons, I use Way Yes. It gives me 3 years of lessons because I can do about 10 units a year, plus I do 4 readers in my upper level classes. If you don't do that, you may have room to do more units. And there may be just some weird periods of time, like if you go to school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before Thanksgiving, kids are not all there right before break. So we have some free form units that are available on our TPT and on Somewhere to Share that allow you to bring in a little bit shorter time period unit that you can share with students, but that still has the same foundational ideas as the Way Yes curriculum, working students toward understanding a particular content topic and being able to discuss it in detail. I hope this has been a great intro to the Way Yes curriculum and how to find your way around in all of my messy folders. I apologize if you copy the folder over to your own drive. I hope that you're able to put it in an organizational style of your choosing. But keep in mind, if you do make a copy or a shortcut to your drive, that is no longer going to be connected to the mother folder. And so if we make updates or changes, they wouldn't automatically go into your folder. So that's when you use that update log just to check in and see if there have been any new updates to Way Yes. Thank you so much for trusting us with your curriculum. I'm heading back to school on August 17th, and so that's just around the corner, and I'm hoping to have all kinds of new resources for you this school year. It's been a productive summer at Somewhere to Share, so we'll see you soon. Thank you.